kit that can tell you whether your water is acidic or it is alkalinity. So this is one of your test kits to show. So probably I will ask them to please give me water. Okay, there's water here, but maybe they will give me another water. Then we can just see how it is done, and then we'll get along with that. Hopefully from next week we will start fish breeding. We'll be doing production and commercialization of fish farming. We're doing production and commercialization of fish farming. So the production, when we say production and commercialization, is for three factors. Three factors. One of the factors we're looking at is food security. Food security, an example of food security is your protein source in your fish farming, of course, starts as one of your source of protein for your diet. And for me, as I've made known to you guys, is the most important diet, one of the nutritional values in your diet. Protein source. I can eat so much protein, but so little carbohydrate. That's why you can see my body size. When you know that you are eating so much carbohydrate and less protein. It's not just heredity. Don't worry, sit behind. You are welcome. So, food security, one of the examples, like I said, is it stands as a source of protein for your diet. As a source of protein for your diet. Fish is very, very rich in protein. Extremely rich in protein. Very rich in protein. So when you have your small carbohydrates in terms of rice, yam, and what have you, cassava, so you now have that protein. So fish comes into that place to balance your diet and give you optimal health and survival. So what that means when we say food security is that your food, your diet is not balanced without protein. And we have research has also shown that people sometimes die out of lack of protein in their diet. They come down with serious disease and their survival rate is very low. So protein in this context now, fish farming is very, very important. The second aspect is poverty reduction. When we say poverty reduction, we mean an example of that is as an income. It's a source of income, livelihood, source of income. Poverty reduction. Then the third, which is the last, is it brings about economic growth. How? For example, by employment. When you set up a fish farm, you are able to employ labor. And that labor you have employed, you have added to the GDP of your economy by providing labor. You employ labor. So you are adding to the economic growth of your particular environment or community or country. So three factors. I will take it again. Three factors.
Food security.
Food security, Under poverty reduction and what? Economic growth. Good. So those are key 3 factors why the production and commercialization of fish farming is important. All right. Let's look at now when we say production now, we know that catfish and tilapia are the most farmed species in our environment. So that is also important. You don't go about, of course, people have research, technology, trials. We are trying to try new species, but these 2 are the most farmed species in Nigeria. So when we talk about production and you think of a species to stock, you should know that catfish and tilapia is your win-win to go. And why is that? Because they are well suited and able to adapt to our environment, and they have high demand, high market demand. They have high market demand. These are the factors making tilapia and catfish the most farmed fish species in Nigeria. Number 2 is your fish hatchery. Without fish hatchery, there cannot be fish production. Because if we are limited to a particular number of fishes, when we have exhausted it, how do we have more? We are able to have more by fish hatchery. So breeding of fish is very vital for production and commercialization of fish farming in Nigeria. Breeding, which will start next week. Breeding. We are trying to put up our system so that we can do that. Through fish hatchery, farmers are able to have fish that they can rear in their farm from time to time. When they produce, they supply to farmers. Farmers rear them for 4, 5 months, 6 months, sell to marketers who come to their farm to buy to the market, and then end users, consumers, go to the market to buy from the market women. And the fish now goes to where? To the pots. So where do we get more fish? We have to go back again to breed to be able to get another cycle of fish. All right. I will look at under production. I'll look at integration, integrated fish farming. When we say integrated fish farming, we are talking about mixed farming. We have fish farming on one side, and we have other form of agricultural activities going on the other side, such as what? Crop production. We talked last week or a week, 2 weeks ago about adding value added chain to your farming. While you are farming, you use your water, your manure from your fish to fertilize as irrigation for your plantain farming, for your vegetable farming, and then every other form of farming. You can also do mixed farming with poultry farming. You can have poultry farm along your fish farm. You can also have livestock in the same farm. That's what we call integrated farming. Not just having to do only one farm activity. And this allows for efficient utilization of our resources, waste management, and diversification of income streams. It helps you to have stream of income here, have stream of income here, have stream of income here. So you are not just earning money from fish, you are earning from your crops, You are earning from your poultry, you are earning from your livestock. So by the time you take 5 naira from fish, 5 naira from crop, I hear plantain is very expensive now. Is that so?
It's not. It's not.
Eh?
We have plantain.
I'm not saying you don't have.
It's expensive.
Is it cheap or is it expensive?
It's expensive.
Yeah. That's something you can look at in adding to your farm, because it will not disturb your fish farm. It will not disturb your fish farm. So that is for production. Am I too fast? Okay, that is for production. Then I will do commercialization now. I will do commercialization now. When under commercialization, the first thing I want to look at is government intervention. When we talk about government intervention, we are talking about subsidies from government. Government subsidizes inputs so that because they already know, they have recognized the potential in fish farming and what it is bringing to the economic growth of a particular space or environment or country or state. So their way of encouraging farmers is to subsidize, like you have for fuel and all that. You subsidize the inputs, technical know-how, training like this, help to teach people. Government organizes this, train more people to go into such business. That's how we come about commercialization of fish farming. So government has a role to play, and that is the role I'm letting you know. They also help you to access credit facilities. How many of us have heard of a Bank of Industry? One person. Any other? That's one of the initiatives from government to encourage farmers to go into farming, especially fish farming. Your banks, your local banks, they have there, all the banks in Nigeria, they have their agricultural facilities for farmers, whereby they give you single interest digits. Single interest digit. Why? Because they are trying to encourage you, and this is in partnership with government. They are trying to encourage fish farmers. So normally, when you want to take a loan, they will tell you 25 to 35% or 37% per annum for business loan. But when it comes to agricultural loan, the bank can give you 9% interest rate, because they are working in collaboration with the government to be able to make it easy for you to do fish farming. And this is how we come about commercialization. Imagine that you borrowed 1 million naira for just normal business. You are to pay about 300,000 as interest about that for that loan per annum. But if it is for agriculture, they will ask you to pay between 80 to 90,000 naira as interest per annum. Why? They are trying to encourage agricultural activities. So if you are hearing this for the first time and you have a very good relationship with your bank, you can approach them. They have this money there. They will not come and tell you. But if you go there and ask them, they will tell you, yes, do you have a farm? And if yes, they will come and inspect your facility, and then they see your turnover. They will be able to partner with you and give you money. Single interest rate. Just to be able to encourage farming. This is the role of government in what? Commercialization. I know the lecture is like it's getting deep now. So you will understand why I started from where I started from. Alright. Now I've mentioned training, programs, subsidies in inputs, infrastructural development, access to your farms, roads, your electricities. This is our government's contribution for you to be able to do your farming very well. private sector and companies also contribute in commercialization of fish farming by creating network channels, distribution channels for you to be able to processing units for you to be able to commercialize your farming. For you to be able to commercialize your farming. Another point to look at is research institutes and universities. What do? They improve the techniques of farming. They improve the techniques of farming, work on research to improve your feed, your fish breeds, genetics, to be able to do more artificial propagation in fish farming. So research institutes has actually brought us this far. If we use the crude methods we are using from 1939 to 45, where the first experiment was carried out in Nigeria, if we are still using those systems till now, fish farming wouldn't have gone rampant the way it has gone in Nigeria. So these research institutes and universities engage in research to be able to improve from the knowledge and equipment that we are used to bring us into modernization, thereabout bringing about commercialization. For example, the clothes you are wearing now, I can bet you 20 years ago you were not wearing this kind of clothes. So they vintage, right? Vintage. Right? Thick cotton. That's what we're wearing. But of course, research has brought about all this. So just to help you to understand, diseases control, breeding programs, all this enhances productivity and ensures commercial viability. Now, again, efforts are being made for domestic and international markets to improve them so that we can do more imports and exports in fish farming. So if Mr. A was producing 50 fishes and Mr. B is producing 100 and Mr. C is producing 500, we will all not have problem selling because there is a wider market that we can now sell to. There is a wider market you can sell to. Your neighbor is ready to buy. Your auntie in UK is also ready to buy. How? Through export. If you process your fish, it will go through export. When we talk of processing, of course, we have done processing here now. How you package, you dry, and all that. Yes. All the package, all the processing systems, international standard, so that it will be acceptable. And so these are all part of commercialization. Are we there? Again, training programs are conducted. Training programs. After the research has been done, you have to now train people with your discovery. You train people, experts, professionals, farmers, students. You have to now train people to teach them about discoveries, improve their skill sets and knowledge. Of course, focusing on technical aspects of fish farming. All right, and wrap it up. So I'm done.